I'm Whitney.
I'm Mindy.
And I'm Deb.
We're three best friends who love nerdy things.
Well, some people think we're nerdy, but we think we're pretty awesome.
This is our nerdiest thing.
Hello, fellow nerds, and welcome to Our Nerdiest Thing. Today, we are continuing our discussion of Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, chapters 21 through 25. This episode will be very spoiler-heavy for Throne of Glass, the book, Throne of Glass, the series, and all of Sarah J. Maas's works. So listen with care.
I thought you were about to say this book is brought to you by
Sarah J. Maas.
Gin and Tonic.
Yeah. Well, maybe today it is. Before we go any further, will you please share, Deb, our nerdiest cocktail?
Yes, it is not brought to you by Gin and Tonic. It's a bourbon drink. Okay, tonight's drink is named Samhain Superstitions.
Ooh.
And it's themed after Thinning of the Veil. This drink pairs well with being a little stitious, a cleverly disguised door, and having dreams that aren't dreams. And it may cause a dead queen to decide that you must kill an unknown evil.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's
nice.
this like really good little fall bourbon cocktail where you muddle cloves and pear and all this stuff, and then it has red wine on top.
Nice.
It's really, really tasty, actually. So there's more ingredients than what we normally do. Normally we're like cranberry juice, Sprite, and vodka.
And a little bit of vodka.
Right. No, this one's a little bit more intense, but it tastes a little bit more intense. It's really, really yummy. And your favorite has egg whites in it.
Oh, good.
I've given you egg whites and you've not realized it before. So I have learned that if it's a cocktail where you're going to be like, what's that?
What is
Maybe
this?
I just don't type it in until 7:58.
Yeah. Eggs does make me sick, though. So maybe don't give it to me without me knowing.
Have you ever left here sick?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, good.
You're thinking back to how many times have I done that? We can always do, we talked about this, I think, recently, the chickpea juice.
No, that's it. Well, part of the egg is it makes it frothy on top.
Right.
It's like having cold foam on your coffee. It's
Allegedly, the
same thing.
chickpea, it's called aquafaba.
I'm going to go ahead and disagree.
Well, some people maybe like to try it. Well,
Not these people.
We are missing our cohort, Mindy. Mindy, we miss you. So we don't have a nerdiest vocabulary. But before we do the recap, I'm going to go ahead and do my deep dive because it's related to what you mentioned in the cocktail description.
Oh, which part?
Superstitions.
Oh, are you a little stitious?
I am a little stitious, but not quite as much as what I'm about to share.
Okay.
So in a previous season, and I forgot to look up exactly which one it was. I know Mindy did a deep dive on kind of superstitions from different cultures like around the world. And I didn't want to do like a repeat of that. So I went to Reddit and I found just kind of silly, funny, strange superstitions from just individual people. So some of these are cultural and some of these are just like, this is what my mom or my grandma told me. So I'm just going to share some of these superstitions.
Ooh, can't wait.
So Olive Freak, this is the username, Olive Freak. My mom told me I wasn't allowed to wash my hair on my period because it would stop the flow. I fucking wish it stopped the flow.
They used to say that about like you could swim in the swimming pool, and I'm like,
oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna chance that.
Yeah, that's not worth the risk.
They used to always say like, if you pee in the pool, a purple little stream will follow you, and I'm like, I don't need the blood of all the gods.
I have
in the pool.
too much anxiety that might actually happen to me, and I would never get over the embarrassment. So it's like not worth it to me. But so that was Olive Freak. This is user Idler's Dream. I've heard that in the UK, some people salute magpies so that they do not get bad luck. And I think a magpie is a type of bird.
It's a bird, yes.
Because I meant to look that up too and just now realized, oh, whoops, I didn't actually look that up. But I enjoy the image in my head of people like saluting birds in the park. Like,
I'm picturing Ross.
Aye, aye, Captain.
No, I'm picturing Ross Geller on that early Friends episode where he has to like sell the Girl Scout cookies and he blows a little bird and he does that little thing with his hand.
The little bird salute thing. Yeah, that's actually pretty funny. I hope people do that in the UK. User Upset Wolf 7508. My mama taught us never to sleep facing a mirror. Evil spirits can pass through the mirror and possess you.
That's a thing. So it's not sleeping next to a mirror. You're not supposed to have a mirror at the foot of your bed.
Oh.
Because it's a portal.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah.
This person says, that's why I swiveled my bed around to face the wall instead of face the mirror.
Why don't you just move the mirror? I don't want to face the wall either.
I don't want to face anything.
Do you sleep closest to the door or furthest away from the door?
Closest to the door.
You do. I sleep furthest away from the door. That's interesting because our personalities don't lend to that.
No,
at all.
not really. We established sides of the bed when we lived in our apartment, and Robbie was closest to the door when it was in our apartment. And then when we moved to, different houses, I am now closest to the door, but neither one of us are willing to change sides of the bed.
Yeah.
So we just stay with it.
I mean, we rearranged our bed a few months ago, and I was previously on the left, and now I'm on the right because of where it sits by the door.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't switch sides of the bed like that. That would stress me out and feel weird. I
No,
feel like.
if I slept closest to the door all night, I would be watching it. I take gummies and I read horror, so I'd be like, did that door just open a little? God. Also, I have to say this. So I learned about that mirror thing on Morbid.
Oh, yeah.
And part of the reason I moved my bed is because the foot of it was facing our bathroom mirror.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it freaked me out.
Yeah,
So,
I wouldn't like that either.
My husband doesn't know that, but now he does because he's gonna
hear this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna not listen to that episode of Morbid. So user Salty Ice 18. By the way, I really enjoy all of these usernames. So props to Reddit for the creativity, I guess. My grandmother. This one was my favorite one. My grandmother would tell us to put the cats outside during a thunderstorm because cats conduct electricity. And I'm like, hold up. Doesn't that mean that your cats would get struck by lightning?
The grandma's like, better them than me.
Right? I think that means you should keep the cat inside. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a word girl.
Coming inside.
I'm not a science girl.
Right.
So, but I was like, I don't think that means what you think it means. But I did enjoy that because it made me laugh. User Inexperienced Stalker says, I don't know if this is a thing in the rest of the world, but in Greece, they believe if you hand someone a knife directly, it will ruin your relationship with them. You have to set the knife on the table and then the other person can pick it up.
I always heard it was bad luck to hand someone the knife. If you're not holding the blade, you're supposed to hand them the knife, you holding the blade so they can grab the handle.
Well, but then somebody's still going to get hurt probably.
Well, if you're holding
the blade.
if you hold the blade though from the top where it's blunt, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Same thing with scissors. You're supposed to hold the pointy
so
end.
that they
It's
can.
the same thing.
I guess so. This is my favorite username, Constipated Cum.
I'm pretty sure if you put cum up there, you would not be constipated. Hey, we've done a deep dive on anal before. Go find it, friends.
Oh, Constipated Cum says
That was the sound Whitney made the entire episode.
don't cut your nails at night because it causes fights with the people inside your house. And I thought, oh, what?
Where are you cutting your nails? On the kitchen table? Or
in daytime, I guess.
No, I mean, is that why you're getting in fights? Or
Maybe.
Are you cutting your nails in bed? Because that's kind of gross.
If you do it during the day, though, it doesn't matter.
Also, if you're one of those people that cuts their nails on an airplane, you're disgusting.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Don't do that.
No, thank you.
Here's the thing. Your nails aren't gross or dirty, but we don't want, the pieces of your nails on our shit.
They might be dirty if you...
I mean, they might be, but I'm saying it doesn't bother me because I think you're gross. It bothers me because I don't want your nail clippings on me.
Yeah, no. I mean, that is gross. Yeah. I'm not afraid to say it. That's gross. I have two more. User Rowena Ravenclaw 0. Don't sweep or clean on New Year's Day. You'll sweep away the luck and a loved one. I've heard that one before, but this one I had not. Always leave a candle in the window on Christmas and leave a plate and a beer at a wedding for the wee folk. I've never heard that before.
So are we saying that the milk and cookies for Santa are for the wee folk?
For the fairies.
The fairies?
Sure. That makes sense.
And when you say fairies, you mean mom and dad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, exactly. And then last one, Hopes for the Best 987 says, when I was pregnant with my first son, my coworker told me I should take off my necklace because if I don't, my baby's umbilical cord would be wrapped around their neck during birth.
Say that again.
When I was pregnant, my coworker told me I should take my necklace off because if I don't, my baby's umbilical cord would be wrapped around their neck during birth.
Oh my God.
I thought she was crazy, but I definitely took it off and didn't wear a necklace again until my son was born.
You know what though? That's the kind of shit that makes moms feel bad.
100%.
You know, if you blink the wrong way, your kid's gonna have a defect. I'm
right.
let's not do that to moms.
And this user, Scatty Wampus, another great username. They replied to this and said, "This is what superstition is all about. Believing you can have some control in a randomly dangerous world." And I was like, yes, exactly. That's what all of these things are. Right. So
is there anything from growing up that you were like superstitious about that now you're like, I was full of shit? Or anything that you still stand by, I guess?
Definitely don't still stand by it, but this is the first thing that came to mind. And this is like Whitney active imagination as a child. So I thought for sure that there was like a witch that lived up in the sky that had like little minions that was just like waiting to get me. Kind of like the bad guy in Power Rangers that was always
Why
like,
did you think
I don't know, maybe because I watched Power Rangers. Honestly, probably because I watched Labyrinth somehow and was like, oh yeah, somebody's watching me too.
Right.
And so I would used to like, if you run up the stairs fast enough, they can't catch you, or if you close the door behind you, like those kinds of things that you would, in the dark when you're a kid or a grown up, do those kinds of things. I did that all the time. And I was always like, well, as long as I get, to here within 10 seconds, then I'll be fine.
I'll be fine.
And then, she never got me either.
That you can remember.
And I never got caught neither.
So a really sweet story about the Labyrinth. Sadie wanted to watch it when she was 6 and my son was at 2 at the time. He was 2 at the time. And my daughter is just an empath through and through. She feels everything and feels everything that everyone else feels around her. And we started watching the Labyrinth and, they kidnap her little brother.
Yeah.
And she bursts into tears and she's like, I can't watch this. I can't watch. Why? What's going to happen to the little brother? And I'm like, he's fine. He's fine. And she's like, no. And so she's never watched it again. Aww. She'll be 18 in 2 weeks.
It does hit different when you are like in that, like, I have a baby brother.
Yeah. Speaking of Sadie, I've got to tell this story, and it is a little bit off topic, but we went to go meet Bryn Weaver the other night.
Yeah.
And I ran into a artist friend of mine, and she had a friend there I had never met, and Sadie was in line buying more books of Bryn's, and BK Borison was there too. And the girl looks at me when my daughter walks off and goes, I would be appalled if I knew my mom read these things. And I'm thinking to myself, so you're just a bitch, because I cannot believe you just said that to me. Mm-hmm. But I looked at her and I said, well, she's going to read them anyway, and she's about to turn 18. So she could ask me questions or not have anyone to talk to about these things because she's still going to read it.
Right.
And the girl was like so shocked that I wasn't like, well, I hide it from her. I'm like, I wanted to look at her and go, this is the problem. Yeah. 100% the problem with purity culture.
Like if you hid it from her, you wouldn't have her at the event. Like obviously she's there with you at this event with these authors.
But that was the point. This girl who is a quote unquote adult, I think she's like 30. She was mortified that mother and daughter were there together. And I'm like, well, I do like sex too. It doesn't, just because I had a kid doesn't mean my vagina shut down.
Yeah.
If anything, it got more vagina-y.
Yeah, sometimes people just need to keep their thoughts inside.
Yeah, she wasn't very good at that.
Yeah.
We might not ever talk again.
It's like, where do you want this conversation to go?
Right. Do you want me to go, oh my God, you're right.
Right.
I should not be a sexual being because I'm a mother.
Right. It's like, what do you want to happen with this comment? Right. Like,
I mean,
I think people just don't think
4
about that.
And I had her there and I was like, honey, listen to this passage.
Yeah. Like a first grader.
Right.
Like, this is how we practice our reading.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on.
I'm mad about that. Sorry.
The nerdy and dirty recap, which we already know who the Wheel of Names has spoke since Mindy's not here to share it with us. And Deb, it's you.
I had to go last time Mindy wasn't here.
Well,
why doesn't this shit fall on you?
Because the Wheel of Names loves me more, I guess.
Yes. Here's the thing. I've gone more the beginning part of the season than I think I did all last season. So I'm due.
Well, that is true. We do. Yeah. It does ebb and flow sometimes. Like one of us is like, I've only had to do it once.
Right.
Like, that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
So you have 30 seconds to tell us a recap of what happened in this section of the book.
Let's see if I can do as good as I did last time.
And away we Go.
The champions find themselves in the next test, a simple capture the flag while scaling a castle wall. Ned falls to his death. Selena pulls some Wonder Woman shit and saves Nox's life. Another champion is found mauled and dismembered. It's Sam Heughan, and Selena is not invited to the festivities. Selena agrees to teach Nehemia her language. We hear about word marks for the first time. Selena finds a door behind a tapestry. Dorian and Kale show up to Selena's doorstep at the same time. Kale brings Selena a ring. Selena dreams a dream that isn't a dream, and Elena tells her she must defeat the big bad. And that's it. I did leave out one sentence that I could have had time for, but Selena finds an escape route.
Yes.
Escape route.
I mentioned that in one of my answers. I can't remember which one it is, but that was really good. Good
Thank
job.
you.
Much better than I would have done.
Well, I had no punctuation or breaths. So if you had trouble following that, so did we.
One big, long, run-on sentence. But it was great.
It was me writing a book at 16.
And it was like, yeah, it was perfect 30 seconds too. Like you gave all the information in the time constraint.
I'm just so good because normally I'm like, no, I have 4 more sentences and you're going to hear them.
Wait.
As someone who like never cheats at games, I can't believe I do that every time.
Well, let's go into our favorite moment. And I can go first because you mentioned this in your recap. I really, really liked the climbing test at the beginning of this section. And I liked that SJM started the scene when it was already happening and
too.
Skipped the, let's walk over there and let's hear the instructions.
And you're going to get the rope.
Exactly.
And
yes.
Kane's going to be an asshole.
I liked just going right into it, saving the details.
Because we read these chapters every week just like the listeners do, and I actually went back a page because I was like, I don't remember this being, and so it took me a second.
Like, did I skip something?
Yeah.
I also really liked when you say she picked tar as her prop, because that's just smart, right? Like, it's not obvious. It's extremely helpful for the test, but it's also, I feel like, something that's a little more subtle that she probably didn't have to like worry about fighting anybody over getting that prop,
Right.
And it helped quite a bit. I really enjoyed the drama of Nox falling and Selena like saving the day. Like you said, Wonder Woman. That's a pretty good description.
Instead of the lasso of truth, it was just a rope.
It was just a lasso.
Right.
And I like that she didn't really have to think about what she was going to do about Nox.
Am I gonna compete well, or am I gonna save this guy?
She just like she followed the instinct of what she thought was right, and I appreciated that.
How pissed are you though that they were like, yeah, we saw Grave do that. Sucks to suck.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, like they weren't going to do anything about that.
They have all these strict rules in certain ways for these champions, and then in other ways it's like a free for all, do whatever you want.
Right.
And I don't like that juxtaposition. I don't.
It's almost like the people running this kingdom are evil.
I know, right?
It's weird. Well, my favorite moment was Selena's integrity in the scene where she does find the escape route.
Oh yeah.
She refuses to run from them as what she calls a common criminal, and she chooses to be honorable and also wants free food. She does note it as an escape option from the king, though, if she needs it.
She needs it.
Right. She always has a backup plan, which is something you find in this series. She usually has 4 backup plans. So this is just one of hers.
Well, in this situation too, and for a lot of her life, she's living in a constant state of fear that the king is going to come after her, that the guards are going to come after her,
Arabin's going to come at her.
Arabin's going to show up, one of the other champions, whatever is causing.
She even has a dream in this part of the book where she's getting whipped in Endovier again.
Oh yeah. She's constantly afraid of what's gonna happen potentially to her, and so I thought it was nice that she had like, all right, well, I've at least got this, right? If the crap hits the fan, I can run through the tapestry
and take this little boat that looks rotten.
Yeah, I don't know that I would trust the boat, but you know what, you do what you need to do. Desperate times, right?
I love though how she's like, well, the candle's blowing over here, but I'm gonna go down in the sewage.
Yeah, I'd rather go to the sewer than whatever's going on in that hallway.
Right.
That brings me to my least favorite moment, because it was part of her exploring the passageways that she finds. It hurt my feelings for her when she goes to the like grate up above the Great Hall through, what is it, like the middle passageway, and she realizes that almost every other champion is there except for her, and she had assumed like, well, the champions just aren't allowed to go, which would make total sense.
That was one of my questions. Do you know why she's not allowed to go?
I think it's Kale. I assume, I don't know that this is ever explained. Maybe it is in the next section and I just don't remember. But I assume that it's Kale just like not trusting her and
but
that he
trusts
just
all those other people.
but he's not really in charge of any of those other people.
Oh,
you know
so
what I
if
mean?
she fucks up at the ball, it's on his head.
Because he's like Dorian's,
Right.
He's not Dorian's personal bodyguard, but he kind of is.
He's his wingman and
Right.
right hand man.
Pretty much,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I assume that he is the reason that she didn't get to go because he
dick.
just doesn't trust her. I know. That may not be right, but that's what I think.
Okay.
But I mean, it made me feel bad for her. And, you know, she's still young, right? And she doesn't have any friends. And these two guys are like softening to her and like being friendly with her. And so is Nehemia. But it is heartbreaking when you're like, oh, I thought we had a different relationship than I think you think we have. And that's tough.
Right.
That's a tough realization.
It is. Speaking of her being young, my least favorite moment was that everyone is putting the literal weight of the world on her shoulders, and they've done it her entire life, right? So as a kid, she has to be the perfect princess, but also hide her powers.
Yeah.
As Otterlin's assassin, she has to be the best and never fail, or she gets punished by Arobin. And she doesn't know until she's done with her training with Arobin that she has to pay him back, right?
Yeah.
And then a fucking ghost decides, and I quote, "Something evil dwells in this castle, something wicked enough to make the stars quake." And then she said, "You
like
must
that
stop it.
voice.
Forget your friendships, forget your debts and your oaths." Like, I imagine that's what Elena sounds like. And it's no big deal. You must forget. And, you know, it's no big deal because Selena is 19 and can totally handle that. She is 19 years old.
Yeah.
And she already has had to live 3 different types of lifetimes, right? And hide who she is or be the best and get punished, which is essentially what's happening to her right now, too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. And so
once again, she's hiding who she is.
Right.
Yeah.
So I do think I just had like a little Freudian moment because I did just realize in the audiobooks that the only time I didn't like the narrator is when they're doing Elena's voice. And it's because they do that.
They do.
She sounds like this.
It's like this weird ethereal kind of...
Right.
Yeah.
She could just talk. It's fine.
Yeah. Apparently she can't. She's just got to be difficult.
Right.
Elena does about
Right.
everything.
So speaking of Elena, she actually has something to do with my biggest revelation.
Oh, yeah.
And it is that the flame in the underground tunnel is trying to lead Selena to Elena and Mort. Don't forget Mort is down there.
He's there.
Who I picture as the door handle from Alice in Wonderland. But she refuses to take that tunnel for some reason, but the queen finds her anyway. Yeah. And we also see that the Valg are using the tunnels beneath the castle just like she is. And I didn't catch that the first time I read it.
Yeah, I don't think I did either.
Yeah.
My biggest revelation was about the boys, Dorian and Chaol. So when they both show up to Selena's room in the middle of the night after the feast, I noticed this that I had not noticed before. Sarah J is revealing to us, both of them, their overall feelings about Selena in this one scene. So Dorian sees her sleeping and feels like he knows her deeper than he should for how long they've known each other. And he is very sure that he is safe with her and that she will not hurt him, right? So he's got this weird level of trust that he really shouldn't have, but he does anyway. And then Chaol, on the other hand, sees her sleeping and knows that she's beautiful, but says that you can't hide her killing power and the potential underneath the beauty.
Right.
So it's like, once again, this is not the first time that I've said this, but SJM keeps showing us in these really short sentences the crux of the issue with these 3 kids.
Right, she's
right?
literally showing us who they are.
Yeah.
Right.
And who they continue to be. And when they have problems between the 3 of them, it comes from basically like the way that they all see each other right here, right? Especially Chaol. He can't not see her as an assassin or a prisoner or a champion.
But I brought this up, I think it was last episode. Later, he is so surprised she's an assassin.
I know.
I'm like, and all this time you gave her shit about it. Did you think she was joking?
Right.
Right. So
like, I don't, what do you want from me? Right. Like all my cards were on the table.
Right. Speaking of Kel and Dorian, their jealousy is my MVP for this week. And it's because it says they both hiss at each other. "What are you doing here?" And then the other one goes, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
And to your point, Kel uses the excuse that Selena's an assassin to throw Dorian out. Like, literally.
You're not safe here.
And Dorian wants to punch him in the face. Mm-hmm. So they're already
I kind of wish that he did.
Right. They're already kind of quibbling over her. And there was one part that really bothered me. because it makes me feel like Kale doesn't really know Dorian at all. And really, when it comes down to the crux of it, he really doesn't.
Yeah.
Right? Dorian has a lot of secrets later. But Kale has the audacity to think that Dorian might only be interested in Selena because she's a virgin.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah.
That's how low you think of who's supposed to be your best friend.
Yeah.
He fucks around a lot, but we don't ever see anything like that from him. Ever.
Yeah, I agree. We don't see any kind of hint that he is, I mean, I don't want to say a creeper because that's not really the right word for what you're describing, but
if someone finds someone attractive because they're a virgin, you're a creeper.
I mean, yeah, that's but gross. I feel like it's not a strong enough word, you know?
Yeah.
But I agree. Yeah. That's not a good way to view your best friend.
Right.
Alleged best friend.
Who is your chapter MVP?
My chapter MVP is Nehemia because she introduces word marks as a term to us and kind of starts to explain what they are, but also like doesn't really tell us anything.
Right.
So we've seen these marks around the clock tower, but now we see Cain doing something with them, some kind of weird interaction. And
that was one of my questions. I was like, is he burying something? Is he cleaning something? Is he covering something up on the wall? What is he doing? Is he putting a word mark there?
I think he's putting a word mark there or adding to it, or maybe like taking something away to close a portal or something. Like he's changing it somehow.
And knowing Kale's personality, Kale doesn't look at him and go, what the fuck are you doing?
No.
He's just like, oh, you're fucking with the wall. Cool. Selena's in a weird dress.
I wonder if it was anybody else's champion and not Parrington's champion, if Kale would say something. But Parrington, you know, we have talked about this before too, but we find out in later books that he has been friends with the king since they were like kids. Right. And so I don't know. I give Kale a little bit of, not grace, but I guess benefit of the doubt when it comes to Cain, because I assume that he's like, well, that's Parrington.
Also,
like I can't do anything about it.
I think he knows that Cain could beat his ass.
Well, he definitely could too. Well, and the other thing too is that Cain is he's from the mountains by Aniel, where Kale's from, and I think that's another weird tension with Kale, that he's like, I don't even want to deal with that.
Right. I didn't think about that.
Because that comes up later in Kingdom of Ash, I think, when he goes back to Aniel and he's like, I killed your guy.
Sorry.
Spoiler alert. But yeah, so Nehemia gives us the term word marks, and basically only says it's a forgotten language of magic, right? And I mean, that's a huge piece of information, but it's also not a ton, but it's a big plot point, right? So props to Nehemia for getting the ball rolling. That's what I said in my notes.
It's a pretty big part of the rebellion that she's helping lead that you don't know about yet.
Well, and in that same scene, there's that foreshadowing, Nehemia staring at Selena's
that was
forehead.
Also one of my questions. Why is she looking at her forehead?
Okay, so she looks at her brow and is questioning her, like, you don't know what a word mark is? It's because she can see Brannon's mark. It's a word mark on Selena's above her eyebrow.
Really? What is it?
Brannon's like the mark of the bastard, which means like nameless, because you don't know who your dad is, so you don't have like a last name.
How did I never know this? What book does that explained in?
It comes up later in this book because
well, good, we'll get there.
Not what,
even though I've read this in the last 6 months.
Not what the meaning is, but I'm trying to remember if it's Dorian, Kale, or maybe both.
How can Nehemia see it and no one else can? Or can they?
Nehemia is the only one that can see it at this point, but I am not sure why. I don't know if somehow it's like being revealed to her, because we find out later Nehemia is dealing with Elena also. And so I think sometimes Elena like makes the word mark show up, because that's what happens later toward the end of this book. It shows up and either Dorian or Kale or maybe both of them see it. And then later on is like, I don't know how the king didn't notice that.
I don't remember any of this shit.
Well, we'll get to it.
All right, good. Because apparently I need a refresher.
But yeah, Selena, the Brannon's mark of the nameless, like nameless is my price. It's a word mark on her forehead.
Okay, cool. So. I do not know how I did not remember that.
You're like, well, see you later.
Plot point.
Well, I'll go ahead with my favorite secondary character. It was the secret passageways.
Oh, that's interesting because mine is along those lines. So you go first.
They're extremely important going forward with the story. And I really liked the creepiness of her finding these secret passages on Sam Heughan, which, by the way, Sam Heughan is the name of an actor, but that's not who we're talking about.
One of our favorite actors, by the way.
Jamie Fraser on Outlander, but James
Alexander Malcolm Mackenzie Fraser.
I can't not picture him when we say Sam Heughan. But anyway,
I'm okay with that.
The creepiness of her finding them on Sam Heughan and feeling that pull, like you were talking earlier, the candle or the flame is like pointing to that passageway on the right. And I love that she's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. She just straight up won't. I just think that's funny. And I know like I said earlier, it makes her feel better to know that there's an escape if she needs it, right? Like that's a little bit of a, maybe not relief of anxiety, but it's at least like a solution to a future problem if she needs it, which I like.
Well, mine is the tapestry. And it's because Selena realizes that her dream that isn't a dream, that the woman on the tapestry is actually Elena, and that she's literally standing in front of the door where her sarcophagus is hidden. This tapestry in the door is, and like you said, the whole tunnel system is the catalyst that starts to define the rest of the series. It really is. Also, can you imagine having a castle so vast that people forget that parts of it exist?
It's crazy.
There's no blueprints. Because they talk later, maybe it's in the second book, about being in the library, and there's parts of the library that people haven't been in centuries. I'm like, how fucking big is this place? This kingdom is so big, and no one was like, I wonder what's back there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's so weird.
Well, and part of it is the king's hubris, like his own arrogance, right? Because he added the glass part of the castle, and so then everybody moved over there, which is part of the reason why they forgot about the old stuff, right? And
which
it's like this
fucks them over later.
Right, it's like your fault, man.
Okay, so you brought this up a little bit. You were talking about the flame, and one of the questions I had is why when she sees the tapestry, the wind blows it inward, but then it also blows outward? Like it blows outward as she sees it and then inward as she walks towards it. Is that supposed to be just like the thinning of the veil, you think?
I think so, but I think it's Elena using a little bit of power to show her like, hey, there's something back here.
Right.
That's how I take it.
Like in lore, if you're thinking of Sam Heughan, and I said Samhain a minute ago. I'm sorry, they're interchangeable to me.
Oh, I didn't even notice that you said Samhain.
Sorry, corrections corner. So how does the queen have the power to show up later outside of Sam Heughan? Because that's such a big part of like, well, I can come right now.
I'm here because the veil is thin. I am not 100% sure because we have several times where we see Elena throughout the series, right? And I know at least one of those times, I'm almost positive that she says that some other people on the other side with her, like
help her.
Yeah, like lent their power to send her.
That's right. Yeah. I did remember that when you said it. Yeah. Well, I do want to talk a little bit about Sam Heughan, and we know that Halloween is stemmed from the Celtic rituals of Sam Heughan, and it's believed that this is a time when the spirits of the dead could walk among the world of the living, right? We talked about the veil being the thinnest. That's what we mean. So when Christianity was trying to take over Europe, the Catholic Church moved All Saints' Day, which was originally in May, to November 1st, which is the day after Sam Heughan, to incorporate the pagan rites and traditions of Sam Heughan into a significant Christian holiday, which I didn't know that. And the church began to refer to October 31st as All Hallows' Eve, which became Halloween. And since the veil is the thinnest on Sam Heughan, activities on Halloween used to be focused on romance. Did you know that? Diviners would try to invoke the face, name, and personality of one's future spouse on this night.
Oh.
Which I'm like, sometimes do you really want to know? What if you're like, I'm going to marry that guy? Fuck. Shit. So let's talk a little bit about Celtic traditions of Sam Heughan. So back in the day, I'm just going to call it that, instead of performing religious rituals, wearing costumes was done to keep the harmful spirits at bay. Masks and costumes couldn't be store-bought, however, and they were made out of bone, skin, and fur of the slaughtered livestock.
That's what I'm doing for our costumes this year.
Oh, can't wait. I'm going to come trick or treat away from your house because it's going to smell.
It's like a Little House on the Prairie hobby, right?
Oh, God. So speaking of trick or treating, it used to be called souling, Souling, because prayers were exchanged for gifts.
Oh.
And the concept of moving from place to place dressed as a demonic being eventually evolved into what we now call trick-or-treating.
Trick-or-treating.
Right. Huh. Large fires were burned to keep spirits at bay, and the festivities of Samhain themselves also cemented the idea that black cats, spiders, and bats were associated with Halloween. And the reason why is that the bonfires would drive spiders and other insects away, while the heat, light, and sound would attract the bats and small animals to the area. So those all became associated with Samhain.
All right, Halloween. That makes sense.
Did you know that the original origin story of zombies stems from Samhain?
I did not.
One tale is of a dead man returning from the underworld to burn people to death after lulling them to sleep.
Oh, well, that's horrifying.
Right. Right. And you know the other original zombie story, JC. I'm going to hell.
I was not ready for that. I was like, did we talk about it on a podcast or something?
Well, we've talked about it, but not the way that you thought. Okay, speaking of unspeakable violence, each Samhain, the people of one Irish village sacrificed 2/3 of their children, their corn, and their milk to keep evil spirits at bay.
Oh my gosh. It's like that Supernatural episode where they
Yeah. And before turnips and pumpkins became popular, some say that the Irish pagans used human heads instead. Some believe that warriors would behead their enemy and mount their heads by the villages to protect themselves from evil.
Oh my.
Fun, right?
I thought and hoped that you were going to say they used potatoes.
Nope.
But you went a different direction.
No, honey, they needed to eat those potatoes.
I know. Yeah. That would have been a waste of some good tater.
Right. So now let's talk a little bit about modern facts around Halloween, right? So some say the candy industry is responsible for daylight savings time. I didn't know this.
Oh.
There is a rumor that in 1985, candy lobbyists put a pumpkin bucket filled with candy on the seat of every senator before the hearing on daylight savings time because they wanted kids to have longer time to trick or treat so the parents would buy more candy. Right, I know.
As someone with seasonal affective disorder, candy's good.
Fuck you.
Yeah, but it's not that good.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But also, doesn't it sound kind of quaint that, 1985 wasn't that long ago, and all it took was a bucket of candy to bribe a politician? Those were the days.
Yeah. If only we were just bribing people for daylight savings time.
I know.
Right?
That'd be nice.
Right. One case study shows that children that dress up and head out together in groups can lead to a phenomenon called de-individualization, which is a state in which group members feel less responsible for their own reactions due to group think type of behavior.
Yeah.
Specific studies show that costumed unsupervised children are more likely to steal candy and money than children not in a group and not costumed. But did we really need a study for that?
Apparently so.
I mean, it's just like human nature, isn't it?
Yeah. Hey, how about we do less studies on that and do more studies on
cancer,
PMDD,
right?
Cancer,
PMDD,
endometriosis,
perimenopause, all
yeah,
that good stuff. Hey, did you know if you put a kid in a mask and no one knows who they are, they'll take more candy
on a night where everybody's giving away candy?
Right? You don't say. Did you know if you put a group of kids together without supervision, they'll act like jackholes?
Yeah.
You don't say. Okay. Speaking of the 80s and 90s, did you know that in 1999, the director of animal placement for the ASPCA went on record saying that Halloween is a time when blood rituals take place and black cats are often sacrificed. And even though there aren't any true, evidential facts that support this, many shelters refuse to adopt out black cats the week of Halloween.
I mean, better safe than sorry, I guess. I wouldn't want that on my conscience if I adopted a cat out and then found out that happened
That'd
to
be
it.
Awful. And that is a weird time to adopt a black cat. Let's be honest.
It really is.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust that either.
Right. So finally, let's talk about the urban legend of poisoned candy.
Oh, yeah.
This is something that really came up as we were growing up, right?
And it still goes around.
Yeah. So we were taught from a young age that you have to check all your candy when you get home, right? Like you're supposed to check all the wrappers. Is it sealed? All that. Having said that, there's only been 2 candy poisonings on record, and both were committed in the 1970s by family members trying to cover up another crime. Did you know this already?
I think I heard a podcast episode about this, but
Well, people are about to hear another one.
yeah.
So in 1970, a young boy died of a heroin overdose, and police found traces of the drug on his Halloween candy. And as it turns out, the boy had found his uncle's heroin stash and overdosed.
Oh, gosh.
And hoping to conceal it, the family knowingly sprinkled heroin on the boy's candy with hopes to implicate a stranger.
That's horrible.
Yes, it is. It's about to get worse.
Oh, great.
The second and only other recorded Halloween candy poisoning case happened in 1974, just 4 years later. A young boy in Texas died after eating a pixie stick that was found to contain potassium cyanide poison.
Yeah.
His father tried to blame it on a house that was giving out candy up the street, but authorities later found out that the father had taken out a life insurance policy on the boy.
My gosh.
Just a few days prior, and he was dumb enough to ask his coworkers where to buy cyanide.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Right.
Killed his kid for money.
Yeah. Life insurance money.
That's terrible.
Who the fuck does that? So yeah,
A psychopath.
Yeah, so that was, Sam Heughan and Halloween and how we got here and the fucked up things that have happened. But hey, I don't think you need to worry about candy poisoning as much.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's one less anxiety.
I'm going to eat more Almond Joys this year. My kids are so sweet. Those are my favorite little candy bars. And they know when they trick or treat, they'll just come by and be like, here, Mom, here's the Almond Joy.
Yeah.
Last year, my son went trick or treating in the neighborhood like next to us. And it's a really big subdivision. And he came back with 11 pounds of candy.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot of candy.
Yeah. I might have been throwing a little bit away every day.
Sure. I mean, I would too. That's insane.
Right.
That's,
Yeah.
wow. Thank you so much for teaching us so much today.
Now, when you carve your pumpkin this year, you can think about beheading your enemies.
Yeah. Imagine
like,
somebody else.
It could be worse.
It could be worse.
That's right.
Golly. Oh, well, thank you so much for that.
Are you sure?
Let's talk about our favorite quotes. I actually have 3, so I can go first.
I have 2, so that makes
those.
you feel better.
I laughed out loud after the first test is over and Kale says to Selena, cheer up, 18th place is fine.
That was one I took off my list. That's so
That
funny.
made me laugh because I was like, first of all, 18th place is terrible. And if you know her for 5 minutes, you know she's going to hate that.
And then later
you know?
on, he's like, at least I wasn't 18th place. He like brings it up again.
Yeah. Oh, man. And then Dorian says to himself about Selena and Nehemia, they made a formidable pair. Gods help them all. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, that's really
They did.
true.
They really did.
And then Kale says to Dorian about Selena and Nehemia, you think that was bad? You should see them when they really get going. And that just made me laugh because they, had teamed up on him a couple of
Girls will
times
be
now.
girls.
Girls will be girls. But that made me laugh a lot.
So there was one that made me laugh, and I don't think it's supposed to, but it reminded me of if you ain't first, you're last from Talladega Nights. And it was when she says, Arobin told me that second place was just a nice title for the first loser.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you ain't first, you're last. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I kept thinking over and over again.
It is that same vibe very
It is.
much.
But then the one that really made me giggle was Kale says, shall I bring you a trinket from the revelry? And Selena responds with, only if it consists of a sizable portion of roast lamb.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you are a girl after my own heart. I love it. I love it.
Well, I know that you've mentioned some questions along the way.
I have 2 more.
Do you have more
believe it or not.
questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one was, do we know why Elena, if we're down with the coffins, right, and the tunnels, why was Elena's face bathed in moonlight and Gavin's in darkness? Is that indicative of anything later? Does Gavin end up being like bad? I can't remember. I didn't think so.
I don't think so. I don't remember.
Maybe just so she'd focus on Elena, maybe?
It might have something because the room as a whole is like a riddle.
Right.
And I'm wondering, I can't remember if maybe the moonlight and like the placement of it maybe has something to do with solving that riddle, like being able to see certain things.
Listeners, if you remember this, just email us
I don't-
and tell us. Our
I
nerdiest
can't
thing
think
at
of
gmail.com.
anything else
Okay.
like that.
My other one also, and this probably has to do with the riddle too then, is on the Queen's coffin it says, Time's Rift. Is that also the riddle?
Yeah.
Okay. So
That's-
I should just keep reading?
Yeah, it's
even
part
though
of the
I've read
riddle.
this 3 times?
I think that Times Rift thing does not come into play until the second book, I think.
Okay. Well,
I'm
shit,
pretty
we're
sure.
not rereading that right now.
I know.
And I just reread it and I don't remember.
I did too. I don't remember.
These are some very dense books.
They really
like,
are.
not boring dense, just a lot of
It's a
information.
lot. And the
Hey,
longer you go through it, the more information you get.
At least in this one, the answer to the riddle isn't love,
Yeah, that's true.
which I still didn't get.
It is more complicated than
It
that.
is. It
Maybe
is.
that's why she did the Akatar riddle the way she did, because she was like, throwing a glass, man, that's tough.
That took a lot out of me.
I gotta ease up a little bit.
She's like, these people have to be smarter than this. Turns out we weren't. Did you have questions?
I have a couple. I don't think that they're important. They were just kind of like, I wonder. I did not remember that one of the passages that she finds goes above the Great Hall where you could like spy on it. And I wondered if that comes into fruition, if that comes into play later. And I don't remember it being a thing at all, other than her seeing that she was one of the only people, like her and Kane are like the only champions
Doesn't she
not there.
go up there later, though, and kind of crashes a ball? Isn't that how she ends up dancing with Kale?
I
Or
don't
was she
know.
invited to that one?
She might have been invited to that one.
Seriously, you all a lot
I don't
happens in these
remember.
books.
I don't remember that passageway to the Great Hall being a thing, other than her just finding it this first time.
Right.
And then the only other question I had is with Knox. I wrote, who does he belong to? But what I really meant was, who's his sponsor? Like, who brought him into this champion competition? And I don't know. I didn't look it up. I don't know if it has been mentioned before and I just don't remember it. But
I'm going to the interwebs.
yeah.
Oh, it thinks I mean something else. It's like a professional athlete thing. So maybe we'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah. So I don't know who brought him into this competition.
The minister of Terrason. In the webtoon. Oh, no. Wait. Okay. In the webtoon Tower of God. I've never heard of this.
Huh?
Okay. This is what happens when you do like the overview. Forget I said that, friends. I think apparently this might be like fan fiction or something. I'll look up and see what that is.
I'll try to remember to look it up too and see if I can find it.
But on the
in
Throne
book.
of Glass wiki, it also said he was sponsored in the King's competition by the new minister of Terrason.
That would make sense because he's from Paranth
That's right.
and Terrason.
That's
so
right.
that
Yeah.
would make sense.
Yeah.
All right.
But
I
who the
accept
fuck is that? I mean, who's the minister of Terrason?
Some random lackey
Who
of
probably
the King
died,
of, yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are we looking forward to as we continue to read?
Is it too much to say getting all my damn questions answered? Which I'm not going to.
I was going to say not in this first book.
But what I'm really looking forward to is Selena and Dorian doing a little kissing. And then Selena and Cole doing a little bit of fucking. It's going to be great.
That's next book too.
Damn!
She and Dorian do a little bit of kissing in this book, but
They do.
she and Kale don't.
Dances with Kale in this book, right?
No, that's book 2.
God. I'm going to have to reread that book after this. Even though, again, I've read this in the last 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot. It's a lot to keep track of.
Apparently for me, apparently.
Well, I'm looking forward to, now that we've got the secret passageway opened up, like that part of the story like really going, because I feel like that changes. I think you said this earlier. It changes the trajectory of the series in general.
It's not about being a champion anymore.
Right. It's not really what this book is about. It's definitely not what the series is about. And I feel like this part of the book, I guess, is when the plot starts to move quicker and it starts to get a little more exciting, at least for me as a reader.
100%.
So that's what I'm looking forward to. Is there anything else with this section of the book?
No, I told you all about decapitations
Yeah.
and spirits and asked a bunch of questions. And I used Elena's voice in the word marks.
It's me, Elena.
Oh, did I say Selena? I meant Elena.
No, you said
God,
Elena.
these authors just need
Selena, Elena,
Kale.
Kyle. You have to say it with the Nelson County accent. Well, listeners, next week we will be discussing Throne of Glass chapters 26 through 29. Mindy, we miss you and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Like like what you heard in this episode? Follow Our Nerdiest Thing on Instagram at instagram.com/Our Nerdiest Thing or Facebook at facebook.com/Our Nerdiest Thing. We love hearing from fellow nerds. Email us at ournerdiestthing@gmail.com.